Hello and welcome to practice today. We're going to be doing a warrior flow. So warrior flows are really good to help you feel grounded. So if your mind's going all over the place, if you're feeling untethered for any reason, it can be a really good way to ground you, to bring your awareness back to the base. And it's also very activating, very powerful for your energy. So if you're feeling a bit meek, it can help you feel a bit bigger. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to come back into child's pose. And you might want to come toward the back of the mat to take the child's pose. You can bring the knees wide, extending the arms out, and just allowing yourself to move gently back and forth. So again, checking in with your hips. It is a bit of a hip opener, so allow space to enter the body as needed. If it's a bit too much to bring the knees as wide as the mat, you can also bring them hip-width distance and allow the torso to rest. You can allow the forehead to touch to the mat, maybe rolling it side to side. And then take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Filling up into the belly, into the upper back, and exhale out through the mouth. You can lift your head away here if it helps as well, just because you might not want to be breathing really firmly into the mat. Finding your inhale, breathing in through your nose. Feeling the breath rise up from the low belly, all the way in between the shoulder blades. And exhaling out. Inhaling here, finding your breath. And it rise up, expanding in the body. And then with intention, pushing the breath back out. On our next inhale, begin to send the gaze forward toward the thumbs. And pull yourself forward. So keep this nice and low, long, opening the chest, opening the front line of the body. And then starting to reach the gaze up. You might find a bit of a stretch through the front line of the body here. And then as you exhale, come into your tabletop pose. So check in with your wrists. You might take some gentle wrist circles. If you want to go a bit deeper, you can always turn the fingers back toward the knees, maybe bending through the elbows. This gets into the forearm a bit more. So again, see what feels good. And you also want to be pressing through the tops of the feet. So notice that your toes are facing toward the back edge of the mat. You're pressing in through the tops of the feet, all the way from the big toenail to the small toenail. And feeling this activation through your shins. Spread through the fingers and press just a little bit more through the pointed fingers and the thumbs. Feel this base. I want you to take a moment to bend through the elbows. As you do this, really press in through the tops of the feet. Exhale, coming down, bringing the chest toward the mat. And inhale, pushing back up, straightening the elbows. We'll do a few of those. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, coming down. Feel your base, feel the fingertips. Inhale, rising up. One more. Exhale, hovering down. Inhale, rising up. Now take a moment to shake out through the wrists. Notice any energy that you built up there. Maybe bring those wrist circles back in. And then reestablish your base. Press through the tops of the feet. I always like to kind of drum the tops of my feet in as well. And we're going to start to create our nice, even breath that we'll be taking with us through our class today. So inhale. Begin to open the chest and the gaze the tailbone upward. Feel the stretch in the front line of the body. And as you exhale, bring the belly button in toward the spine. Curve the back up. Feel space in between the shoulder blades. Relax the head completely. Inhale, finding your breath. Sending the gaze the tailbone up. Exhale, curving through the back. Feeling space. Notice your upper back, especially mid-back. Inhaling here. Finding the gaze up, stretching through the front line, stretching the throat, and exhale, curving through the back, pressing through tops of feet and palms. Go ahead and take 3 more rounds here, completely on your own breath. Feeling your base, and really breathing into it. One more full round, finding your inhale. Exhale, curving the back, holding here. Really pressing through that pointer finger and thumb, feeling the base of the hands, making sure you're pressing in through the tops of the feet, and then releasing back into tabletop. As we exhale, begin to walk the hands forward, coming toward puppy pose. And ideally, you're straightening the elbows here. It's okay if you have to keep a slight bend, but just see what you can do today. You start to lower the forehead either hovering toward the mat or maybe release all the way down and really extend out through the fingers. So press through the fingertips. Notice how this affects the shoulders, the chest. Finding your breath here, feeling this nice opening through the chest, through the shoulders. And we inhale. Begin to slide the hands back in. Again, notice the effect. You can bend your elbows here quite a bit, maybe to move the energy. And then press down with the hands, send the gaze down. As we inhale, begin to extend the left leg back behind you. So point the toes down, and notice if you kind of tend to bring the left heel up, start to curve the left toes in toward the center line. So you're keeping a nice steady base and your hips are even. Finding your inhale here. As we exhale, begin to bend the left knee in toward the chest, in toward the belly, and really push through the palms. Inhale, expand back out, flex through the toes. Exhale, bringing left knee in. We'll do a few of these. Again, playing with our cat-cow, expanding the left foot back. Exhale, bringing the left knee in. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, bringing in. One last time, we inhale, push through the left heel, feel the base of the fingertips. Exhale, pressing in, really press through the top of the right foot here, it's being your base, and then step the left foot up in between the hands. Now as you do this, you can always bring padding to the back right knee, so see how your knee is feeling today, or if it needs a bit of support. Otherwise, walk the left toes forward a bit, and you can move the hands forward as well, just framing that left foot, and begin to press in to the big toe mound of the left foot. So now we're creating our base, mainly through the left foot and through the top of the right. As you press into the left sole of foot, press into the right top of foot, and really bring the thighs in toward one another. So you start to get this lift, and with this lift, we start to reach the hands out in front of us. The thumbs are facing up. You can bring the hands so they come in line with the ears if you'd like, or you can keep them lower. Again, notice where you naturally go, maybe go in between the two, see how you're doing. And as we inhale, active through the fingers, we press through the top back right foot and we rise up into a low lunge. Take a moment to move through the wrists here. Again, same kind of thing we were doing in our tabletop, but now we're in the air, so checking in and then expanding, pulling the low belly in. Notice if you tend to come forward, try to keep the tailbone tucked so you have this nice long line. Rising all the way up through the fingertips. Inhaling here. And as we exhale, reach the left hand forward, palm facing down. Reach the right hand back, palm facing down. Notice your right leg. We're going to turn so the right knee faces the long edge of the mat. And the back right foot comes off the mat, or maybe it's kind of off to the side. And begin to expand. So press deeply into the left toe. You might be able to walk your left foot forward. Begin to come into this warrior variation, gazing over the left middle fingers. Imagine you have little buoys underneath your arms. They're helping you float up. Your low belly is pulled in, nice open chest, shoulders relaxed. Inhaling here. As we exhale, turn left palm up and release the right hand. Anywhere on the right leg, if you're feeling really good, you might even bring the right hand all the way down to the mat. Arcing the left hand up and overhead, or maybe you keep it straight. Again, allowing this opening to come into the body. And we inhale. Begin to return to your warrior two variation. Again, pull low belly in, tuck the tailbone. Inhaling here. And as we exhale, bring the right hand forward. Go ahead and see if you can turn the right foot back so it's facing the back edge of the mat. So like we started in, the palms are facing down. And then begin to release the hands, frame the left foot, step the left foot back, and go ahead and take a few cat-cows. We'll do 3 of them here. So making sure the hands are underneath the shoulders, releasing through the back. Take one more round. And as we exhale, holding here in our cat, tucking the chin in toward the chest, pressing through tops of feet, feel your base, and then releasing down into tabletop. From here, we begin to reach this right foot back. So same thing on the other side. Again, check in, you're pushing out through the right heel. Your fingers are spread, you're pressing a little bit more through the pointer finger and the thumb. And if you find that you're a bit uneven through the right side, just turn the right toes in to square off your hips. It evens them out. Keeping the gaze down. As we exhale, bend the right knee in toward the belly, in toward the chest, arc the back like cat. Inhale, expand, flex through the foot. Exhale, bring the knee in, maybe point through the toe as you come into your cat. Exhale, push the right foot out. And begin to exhale, bring the right knee in. Inhale, push it out. Few more rounds, bringing the right knee in, feeling the space through the shoulders. Exhale, pushing out. One more round. Bringing the right knee in. Inhale, pushing out. Holding here. And then beginning to bend the right knee, bringing it slowly in toward the belly, toward the chest, in between the hands. Framing the right foot. Take a moment to make sure your left knee is feeling okay on this side. And you want to walk the right foot forward enough to where you feel the strong base. You can actively spread through the toes, push in through the big left toe mound. Press in here, activate through the thighs like they're coming in toward one another. So together and also front to back. And with this lift, we reach our hands forward, thumbs facing up. You might find a bit of a hover through your torso, but you can also rest it on the thigh. Just see where you are. And as we inhale, rising up all the way into this low lunge. And as you get here, please do feel free to adjust. You can always walk the right foot out a bit more. You can move through the left knee as needed. Just make sure that your base is coming from the sole of the right foot and the back top left foot. Reaching up here. Allow the shoulders to relax. Keep expanding through the fingers. Inhaling. And as we exhale, opening. Now right hand forward, left hand back. Really reach back through the left hand, forward with the right, and then turn the left knee to face the other long edge of the mat. So I'm facing the other way from you guys now. Keep pressing in through the right sole of foot, and keep pressing in through the top left. Gaze over the right middle finger. Take your inhale here. Relax the shoulders, tuck the tailbone, press in through your base, finding your inhale. And as we exhale, turning right palm up, sending left hand anywhere on the outside of the left leg, maybe it even comes down all the way to the mat. Keep pressing into the right foot here. So it's tempting to come straight to the leg. Don't allow that in. Really expand, arc through the right arm, or maybe you straighten through the elbow. Again, any variation that feels good to your body. And as we exhale, back to Warrior Two variation. Maybe take a moment to shrug through the shoulders and then really expand all the way out from the right middle finger through the left. Little buoys underneath the arm, you find this float. Taking your inhale. And as we exhale, bringing the left hand forward, left palm faces down. Skillfully, we begin to turn the left foot so the knee is facing toward the front edge of the mat. Bend in through the right knee. And we exhale, frame the right foot, step it back. We inhale, come into our cow, stretch through the front line. Exhale into our cat. And then curl the toes under. Make sure that the hands are underneath your shoulders. Tuck through the toes, push out through the heels, lift the knees, lift the shins, gazes down. Again, take a moment to feel your base here. So bending through the elbows, rising up. If it doesn't feel good to do this today, or your arm strength just isn't feeling it, then that's fine, just stay where you are. You can even bring the knees down and take a few of these. We'll take one more dip. And then rising up, begin to send the hips up toward the sky, toward the ceiling. Come onto the toes, stretch through the backs of the legs. And as we exhale, start to push the ankles, the heels. Why not your ankles too, right? Bending through the knees. Feeling the stretch to the back of the leg as we come into downward facing dog. And in down dog, you want to be pushing forward with the hands. You have external rotation in the forearms. So you can actually do these little push-ups. Maybe we'll call them push-ups, we'll call them bent elbows, right? Less scary. Begin to pull the low belly in, work the heels toward the mat, even if they're not touching, the idea is there. And then send the gaze forward toward the thumbs and begin to bend the elbows. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Elbows come out. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Last time, exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. And then begin to reach the left foot straight back behind you. Again, make sure that you're not pushing up too much through the left heel. You can even the hips, turning the left toes in. Press through the right sole of foot as well as through the left. And we exhale, bend the left knee in toward the belly, in toward the chest, in between the hands. Frame the left foot. Now this back leg, you want to be really pushing out through the right heel. So notice if you're bending the knee, that's okay. You can keep it bent in the knee, but do your best to be straightening it. The idea is you're pushing through the right heel. Begin to feel your base into this left big toe mound, all the way over to the pinky toe. And we inhale, reach the hands forward, thumbs facing up, palms facing in. Really activate through this back right leg, your one nice line. And we inhale, rising up into our high lunge. Now in this high lunge, you can take a moment to do kind of like a bounce, is what I call it. You just kind of go up and down so you're not completely shocking your hips. And you also can make sure you're in the right position here. So look down at the left foot. You want to be able to see your left big toe. If you cannot, you might need to reduce your stance, or you can just guide the left knee out toward the left. See what works for you. And then we begin to reach up. Expanding here, find your inhale. As we exhale, begin to step the right foot in. So now the entire foot is on the mat and the toes face out about 45 degrees. Begin to release the hands to the hips and notice these hip points. Imagine there's headlights on them. If they're not facing the same way, they're kind of wonky, try to bring them the same way. Adjust the back right foot, bend into the left knee. So you want to be getting this nice even warrior one. You're pressing through the outer edge of the right foot. We inhale, begin to reach the hands up, pull the belly in. Your gaze can go up if you'd like. Think length, length, length. And we exhale. Begin to reach the left hand forward, the right hand back. Turn this right foot so now it faces the long edge of the mat. Bend deeply into your left knee, maybe a bit deeper than you've been going. Check your alignment, either heel to heel or heel to arch of foot. I personally like heel to arch, but see what works. Reaching left hand forward, right hand back. Think float, buoys underneath your arms. No coming down, they're floating straight out. You're bending into the left leg, pulling the belly in, relaxing the shoulders and the face. Inhaling here. Exhale, turning left palm up and reversing the warrior. Bringing the right hand down. If you really need to straighten through the left leg here, you can. Sometimes it's a bit much. Otherwise, keep it bent or come back into the bend. Arc the left hand over, palm facing down. And we inhale, back into warrior two. Holding here, looking deeply, deeply over that left middle finger. Taking an inhale here. As we exhale, turn the right foot so the heel is lifted. Reach the hands forward so palms are facing one another. You can really spread through the fingers here. See what works for you. And then you have two options. You can either step straight up into your warrior three, pointing through the right toes or flexing, or maybe you take a few steps up. So if you're kind of doing the step option, maybe doing 1, 2, launch. So seeing where you are, finding your breath, feeling the base of the left foot, reaching out firmly through the fingers. Inhaling here. And as we exhale, release the hands down, come into your standing splits, really extending the right foot up, relaxing the head down. Feel this through the left leg, and we exhale. Bend the right knee, come into forward fold. Relax the head completely. You might even take opposite elbows here and just swing side to side. You can see what works, see what feels good. Think release, release. Notice how your left side is feeling. And then begin to release the hands on the elbows if you've taken that variation. And we inhale, rise to halfway lift. Opening through the chest. Releasing the weight back toward the heels here. So you might bring the toes up. And then release the toes down. Come back into forward fold. Relax, release. Inhale up. Into our halfway lift. Hands come to your shins or your thighs here. That way you're opening through the chest. And then bring the left hand down in front of you, the right hand down in front of you. Step your right foot back, your left foot back into downward facing dog. So take a moment here, begin to move through the feet. Again, feel into the palms, spread through the fingers, pull in on the low belly as the hips rise up. Take a few breaths, hang your down dog. And then as we inhale, begin to reach the right foot back. So again, goal here is to keep the right foot somewhat even with the hips so you can turn the right toes in. Keeping the gaze down, pulling the low belly in, really feeling this grounding through the left foot. Inhaling here. And as we exhale, bending right knee, in toward the belly, in toward the chest, in between the hands. Now feel your base. If you know you need to adjust on the mat, please do so. Start to really reach through the left heel. So you get this activation, you're straightening the knee if possible. You're keeping the right ankle about underneath the right knee. It's okay if it comes forward a little bit, but don't overextend yourself. So see where you are. Gaze is down, and we inhale. Reach the hands forward. As you do this, you're really going to need to be rooting into the big toe mount of the right foot. Reaching straight out, thumbs facing up. Really feel this energy through the left heel. It will help you here. And we inhale, rise up into our high lunge. Again, that little bounce. See how you're feeling? Also a good time to check your alignment. So if you can't see your right big toe, maybe you guide the right knee out, just gently putting the hand to the inside of the thigh. Or maybe you shorten your stance. So if you might be a bit too long, extending a bit too much, see where you are. Inhaling here, pull the belly in. Really push out through the left heel. Feel that through the left thigh. One more inhale. And as we exhale, step the left foot up. So the toes come out about 45 degrees, bend into the right knee. You might walk it forward. I'm feeling that here anyway. And then begin to bring the hands down to the hips. Turn the hips forward. Little headlights facing forward here. We reach the hands up. And really press to the outer edge of the left foot. Keep the belly engaged. Strong warrior one. Inhaling here. And we exhale, open to warrior two. Reaching the right hand forward, left hand back. Check your alignment, heel to heel or heel to arch your foot. Again, I like heel to arch your foot. Reach the right hand out, bend into the right knee. Press through the outer pinky toe edge of the left back foot. Straighten through the left knee. Tuck tailbone, relax shoulders. Relax the face. Breathe. Gaze over the right middle finger. Nice, strong, open arms, open chest. Inhaling here. And as you exhale, turn the right palm up, send the left hand back, reverse your warrior. You can extend the right arm straight up, or maybe it arcs over. Keep bending into the right knee. It's tempting to straighten here. Do your best. And as we inhale, back to warrior two. Expand. Don't fall into it. Really expand out into it. Feel your base. Feel your power. You're bringing it in all the way from the ground up. And then as we inhale, begin to reach the left hand forward. Turn the left toes so they face the front edge of the mat. And you can choose your launching pad. So maybe take a few steps up. I'm going to step back on my mat so you can still see me. And then launch forward. Maybe pointing through the toes or flexing. You can also do that hip check here. So turning the left toes in. This will keep the hips even. Finding your breath. Trying to make that torso about parallel to the mat. Keep reaching out. Feel the base through the right foot. And we exhale. Releasing the right hands down, coming into your standing split. Really reach the left heel up. And try to straighten through the right knee or keep a slight bend in it so you still have control. And then begin to release the left foot. Release the head. And this time we take the hands and we trace up the front line of the body. Inhaling in, keeping the chin tucked until the hands come all the way to the hips. We expand. Reaching out and up, pull low belly in. You might send the pelvis slightly forward here. Just to give yourself a bit of a back bend. And we exhale, releasing the hands down. Take a moment to shake out through the legs. and come into your Tadasana. So you should feel your strong base now. Those warriors really prepped you. They kind of forced you into creating a base, right? So spread through the toes. Press into the big toe mounds. Little bend in the knees. Roll the shoulders up and down. Tuck the tailbone in. You're pulling this energy up from the ground. So imagine that the feet are where you plug in. We all like charging our phones and stuff now. You got to charge yourself too. So charge yourself. Feel this activation. And then as we inhale, bend through the knees. Rise up, reach through the hands. Exhale, open chest as we fold forward, all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. Hold the lift here. Left hand down in front of you, right hand down in front of you. Step right foot back, followed by left. Right hand underneath shoulder, left hand underneath left shoulder. Take a moment, heel-toe connection. Coming forward on the toes, back through the heels. And if full plank doesn't suit you, then go ahead and come onto your knees. That's completely fine. Start to slow down this movement, and on our next inhale, we come forward onto our toes. Really press with the pointer fingers and thumbs as we hug the elbows all the way in toward the rib cage, chest, belly, tops of thighs, tops of feet. Hands underneath the shoulders. We inhale, rise into your cobra. So in the cobra, you're still opening through the chest, shoulder blades coming toward one another, gaze is soft. And if this hurts your low back, you can always bring the feet as wide as the mat or just expanding out a bit. So see what feels best to you. And exhale, releasing down. Curling through the toes, pushing up either onto the knees or in full plank. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Holding here, finding movement. And as we inhale, send the gaze forward toward the thumbs. Begin to walk the left foot, the right foot up, but start to turn the toes out. So it's like the insides of the feet want to come to the outsides of the hands. Big toe edge of the right foot and left foot to the little finger of the left. And I'll turn here so you can see we're coming into Malasana, into our yogi squat. So the toes are facing out at an angle. You bring the hands to Anjali Mudra, pressing in through your elbows, and you're getting this nice straight spine. So if you notice you're really hovering like this, see if you can begin to bring the pelvis down, opening through the chest, pressing in, the thumbs coming in toward the chest. So you're not only opening the hips as you're pressing the elbows in and the legs are pushing back, but you're also opening the chest. And if this isn't quite available to you, which is normal and natural, you can also come into this low chair. So don't come down so far. You can rest the forearms, the elbows on the thighs, bend through the knees, and bring Anjali Mudra out in front of the chest. The elbows come out as well, keeping them even. So see what variation works for you. Find your breath here. Notice your awareness in the feet. You want to keep pressing in through the big toe mound, through the heels. Taking your inhale and exhale, releasing the hands down. If you're in that low chair, go ahead and come down onto your sit bones, knees bent. You want to make sure you're kind of at the edge of the mat here, so just be happy with where you're heading if you go back. Press in through the big toe mounds. Again, feel your base. We inhale, expand the hands up, palms facing forward, and then start to lean back, just until you get this activation through your belly. And then start to send the left foot up, point through the toes. Send the right foot up, point through the toes. Bring the inner feet together, holding here. And if it doesn't suit you to hold in this way, you can always bring one toe down and then the other, just alternate. Otherwise, as we inhale, begin to reach the hands up and back as you point through the toes. Exhale, bring the hands forward so they come about in line with the knees. Inhale, straighten through the knees, reach up through the hands. Exhale, bring the knees in, hover the hands next to the shins, to the, I'm gonna say the knees, kind of the inner elbow to the knees. Inhaling here, face soft, exhale. Coming in, we'll do a few rounds. Feel your base. This time it's your sit bones. Inhaling, exhale. 2 more rounds, finding your inhale. Exhaling here, 1 more. Make it your best chest. Push out either through the toes or through the heels. Exhale. Begin to hug the knees in. If you're able, wrap the arms around the shins. Maybe you gently move side to side. And then begin to bring the soles of the feet down. Really press the soles of the feet into the mat. Reach the hands straight out, palms facing down. If you're able, bring the armpits over the knees, and then reach the fingertips down. Either grasp the big toes with your peace fingers and your thumbs, or you can bring the hands to the bottoms of the feet and press in. As you do this, tuck the chin in toward the chest and start to really stretch through the back. So this is a really nice way to release the back, especially if you're having low back pain. And we inhale. Begin to rise up. Start to come back onto your elbows here, so opening through the chest, spread through the fingers, and then begin to release the left foot down, release the right foot down. Excuse me. Let out any sneezes, energy, you gotta go. And then begin to lower the back down, the shoulders down, and give yourself a full body stretch. So really reaching up through the fingertips, through the toes. As we exhale, bring the left leg in, left knee in, and begin to hug it in with the hand, just a little compression on the left side. And then bring the right hand up to the outside of the left thigh and guide the left knee over to the right, just a gentle twist. And your left hand can expand all the way out, palm facing up, or maybe you bend through the elbow. Depends on the space you have. Notice your left shoulder blade. If it's coming with you into the twist away from the mat, try to really press it into the mat. So you're keeping the chest nice and open. Find your breath. Inhaling here. And we exhale. Bring the left knee in, hug it in. And then start to expand, straighten through the left leg, release it down. Exhale. Bend the right knee in toward the belly, in toward the chest, hug it in. Maybe flex through the right foot gently if it feels good. And then begin to bring the left hand to the outside of the right thigh as we guide it over to the left. Reach the right hand out. Your gaze can go over to the right. It can be forward or left. Whatever feels good, you can kind of play and see what suits your body today. Opening through the chest, notice the right shoulder blade. Is it moving away? Can you begin to bring it down toward the mat? Maybe it doesn't touch, but the idea is there. Keep the chest open. And you can bring this left hand to the outside of the left leg if you want to deepen the twist. Just notice what feels good to you. Finding your inhale. And as we exhale, bring the right knee in, hug it in. And then begin to reach the right leg out. One more full body stretch before we take a brief Shavasana. Reaching the fingers up and overhead, pointing through the toes. Full body activation. Grit your teeth, scrunch your face, point through the toes, activate the core. And we exhale. Begin to glide the hands down slightly away from the hips. Make sure that you're comfortable in the back. You can kind of move through the hips here, feel expansion. Allow the legs to splay out, the toes splay out. Any little adjustments you need to do to begin to relax the physical body completely, go ahead and do so. And then begin to relax the face, release the even breath you've created. And start to allow the physical body to be completely supported, to rest, to be still. As the mind stays focused and aware of the present moment and the sensations you're feeling. to add movement back into the body, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, trying to reach the hands up and overhead, pointing through the toes, full body activation. And as you exhale, bending the knees, either bringing the soles of the feet to the mat, or maybe you bring the knees all the way up into the chest, crossing the ankles, rolling up. If you took the soles of the feet onto the mat, just rolling to either side before pushing yourself up into this cross-legged seated position. And as you enter this position, just take a moment to roll out through the shoulders. Sit nice and tall, so you have this nice base in your core. Relax through the face. Relax the hands on the knees. Just take a moment to notice how you're feeling. If you're feeling more grounded, if you feel your base a bit more. And from that base, do you feel this fire, this energy, this power that you've created? There's something really special about your base, about feeling this sense of security and being able to rise from that. So considering where you can maybe add a bit more of this base into your life, into your action, into something you're doing today, and rise up into your power. Begin to bring the hands together, Anjali Mudra, thumbs coming in toward the chest. And begin to guide the thumbs toward the forehead, pressing in toward the center, and respectfully bowing forward, closing our class. Thank you for coming. Namaste, Satnam. Hope you go about whatever you're doing today with a bit more of this base, a bit more of this strength, and hope to see you again in class. If you like this video, please do like it, subscribe to the channel, and see you again soon.